Welcome to Soil and Soul, a new Christian podcast for those who want to invest in yields that count most. 5 days a week during planting and harvest seasons, Soil and Soul looks to help you sow seeds and reap a golden harvest.
Good morning, guys. I'm Father Brian Feller with you, and it is Passing on Faith Through Farming, part of the Soil and Soul podcast. And we are recording right before harvest. It's early in the morning, 7 o'clock here in Iowa, and I am with Tyler and Tessa Hoffman. And you can see that while they're married and have a family, they look like they're in different locations. So Tyler and Tessa, good morning. How's it going?
Good. How's Father Feller?
Well, I got my jingle on. You got my coffee. This is the Christmas coffee cup, I guess. Yeah, it was just the biggest one. I mean, that's it.
That's not a very big coffee mug. You need a bigger one.
I'll be like the Artemis rocket, group. Woo! I love it. Fighter. So Tessa, who's with you right there? I can see another face on the screen.
We've got our oldest Peyton. Well, I've got our oldest Peyton with us. Cooper is still sleeping. So
okay.
It's just,
so
yeah.
You're in different locations today. What do you guys got going on?
I'm in Northeast Iowa with my family because I had a friend get engaged last night, so I got to come watch that.
Wonderful. And Tyler, what do you got going on this morning?
I've got volunteer firefighter training up in Esterville from 8 to noon here.
All right. Well, I might see you on the road. I'll be going to Emmitsburg from Esterville for a baptism here a little later today. Tyler and Tessa and their family are my parishioners in Grettinger at Immaculate Conception. I've gotten to know especially Tyler's family and your extended family that are around the area. Both of you are involved in agriculture, but before we really get to your professional lives, tell us a little bit about yourselves, where you're from, how you grew up, maybe how you met.
Yep. So I grew up here in Grettinger, actually just a few miles east of town on a farm with my parents and 3 other siblings. And then I went to Iowa State, and during my senior year, I met Tessa at a football game, and then here we are.
I'm from Northeast Iowa, and the year I met Tyler, I was actually in my first year of teaching. I took a job a couple hours away from home where I didn't know anybody, so it was kind of lucky that I met Tyler while I was down at an Iowa State game, and he happened to be from about 45-ish minutes or maybe an hour from where I was teaching at. So I ended up spending a lot of my weekends hanging out with his family up in Grettinger until I ended up moving up there.
Awesome. So a little bit about Tyler and your family. You grew up on a farm. How did that look? What'd that look like?
Yep. So I grew up on a farm. My dad farmed row crop corn and soybeans, and then he also had hog confinement where we raised pigs. We had a few cattle just for the 4-H aspect of things, where each year we'd take a calf to the fair and whatnot. But so yeah, growing up on the farm was picking rock, helping my dad and grandpa around. My grandpa also farms, and so there was always stuff to do. And when I got in trouble at school, there was always work to be done.
Which never happened, right?
Tyler, no.
Practice makes perfect,
Mm-hmm.
So picking up rock and all that. But Tessa, you grew up in town, didn't you?
I grew up in the country, but my dad is a mechanic and like a tire dealer. So yeah, he was the youngest of 4 boys. So he did not get the farming option out of that.
But now wait, do you guys live on a farm or do you live in Grettinger?
We live in town.
You do live in town.
Mm-hmm.
So then, but Tessa, now you're a little bit more connected with farming, not just because you married Tyler with his background, but tell us what you do for a living.
As of right now, I teach high school agriculture and middle school agriculture, and then I'm an FFA advisor. And that is actually what I was doing when I met Tyler. Fun fact, I don't even know if Tyler knows this, but when I was in high school, I was always convinced I was going to marry a dairy farmer. So I'd always had it in my plan I was going to be a farm wife, but that changed just a little bit away from the dairy because I wised up a little bit and knew that my life was going to be milking cows if that was the case. So I found a hog farmer instead and row crop.
That's great. So how did you get into being an egg teacher, FFA teacher, or advisor?
When I was like a little kid, I've been like teaching my stuffed animals since I was like in kindergarten. So I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. And then when I got into high school, I joined our FFA program and I loved our advisor. And first time she took me to state convention at Iowa State, I knew I was going to go to Iowa State. And at that point, I was like, I think I'm going to teach agriculture because I liked how much life skills was just like involved with it. And I liked all the leadership aspect of it too. So I just really liked the agriculture content. And I always knew I wanted to get to the farm side of things. I just had to figure out how.
Well, that's awesome. How long you been then?
I think I'm in my 7th year teaching right now.
Okay. And do you guys have like a test plot and all that?
We don't in this town. When I taught in Humboldt, we did. Yeah, we not in Grettinger. I know it's been kind of talked about, but you have to have someone who's willing to donate some land to use for that and whatnot. And maybe the next ag teacher will figure one out.
Okay, well, maybe that'll happen. All right. So, Tyler, what are you doing professionally right now?
So I work for another person you've had on the podcast here, Jeff Joyce. Sell seed corn and chemical, and then I drive a sprayer in the spring and summer for him. And then I farm a little bit with the help of my dad, and then I help my dad farm during the fall with harvest and after hours and whenever I can. And then I load a lot of pigs, and I'm kind of on call from time to time with anything related to if my dad has to be out of town. But yeah.
AKA
So
he works a lot.
He works a lot. Yeah, there's no moss growing on you. So you're a busy guy, and I understand that you both are involved in other things. Like Tyler, what are some, or either of you, what are some of the other activities or community services you're involved in?
Yep. So I'm on the Grettinger Volunteer Fire Department. That meets twice a month, as well as I just got on a year ago, so I'm going through training to be a official full member here. And then I'm also on the Hillcrest board. That's the golf course here in town. And then just in March, I attended my first meeting at the Knights of Columbus, and so I'll be on that going forward. And so the weeknights really fill up fast when you've got every Monday or whatever. It seems like there's something going on.
Is the firefighter commitment every Monday?
It's every other Monday, essentially.
Okay. Well, our towns and communities really benefit from and really need volunteer emergency management personnel and firefighters and so forth. So thank you for your service there. Yeah, and not just, I mean, it's the whole family too. I mean, Tessa, even if you're not putting on the boots, you're helping carrying the load because you guys are a family, you're a unit.
Mm-hmm.
But Tessa, what about you? I know you're doing some Bible study work, and what's your kind of extracurricular like?
So I'm on our county fair board for Palo Alto, and then we have like I would call it like a couples Bible study. We all have like young families that we actually just finished that one up for the season. We'll resume that one again in the fall. And then I'm in a women's Bible study, and then a couple other boards in town just for like the pool and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully I want to get more involved with some of the church stuff though, is where I'd like to put some more of my time.
Well, I think marriage prep might be one of those areas. I don't know if your
Yeah.
sister.
I think I told
hasn't.
Ty. Okay.
We're trying to develop the marriage prep preparation process and getting more local couples involved in helping the engaged people. So, well, stay tuned for that. And one of the things I hear is pass down faith through farming. And in the midst of your agricultural work, living in an agricultural community, rural Iowa in this case, is you're showing an example to your children and to others of being people of service, of being committed to your community through these different, not just profession, but these different volunteer services, serving on these boards and in these different groups. You're really showing you're a person of community and of service. And I think that's a really good example to share with the kids, that your kids are just going to soak in, is that while yes, we need to make money and so forth, but we're there to build up the whole. We're in solidarity. We're solid with the rest of the community, and we can rise together. And sometimes in life, we sink a little, or we run into a pothole, and we need others to help pick us up. Whether it's an emergency call, having the firefighters come to the accident, or if it's maybe supporting someone in a Bible study. And sometimes it's us. We're the ones who are supported by being in that couple's Bible study. And so I just really want to affirm and highlight how you're being members of your community, active members. I don't know, do you ever find it fulfilling or rewarding any of these times having this involvement in any of these activities?
I do, yeah. It just feels good to kind of give back because church talks about giving. I think about your time a lot. That's one thing you can't claim on your tax returns, but it is a big, your time is, farmers don't really think of their time as being worth a lot, but without volunteering and different things, a lot of things in the community can't happen.
I just
Yeah.
always tell my high school kids how lucky we are for the size Grettinger is. The fact that we have a pool, we have a library, we have a golf course, we have trails, we have like how many parks, we have churches, like we have a grocery store, we have all these things. Like in order to keep those going, then we have to have people willing to help them and yeah, like help run them, help or fundraise for them, whatever it might be.
To give our listeners a little bit of perspective, approximately how many people live in Grettinger, do you think?
Is it 900 or
Mm,
1000ish?
900 to 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in relatively small compared to many of our bigger cities and towns. And yet, like you said, there's a grocery store, which is so important because there's food. And some of our community members, it's a challenge for them to go drive somewhere else to buy food. And either they don't have a car, they don't have the finances, they don't have the ability, maybe because of their eyesight, to drive out of town. Um, and so just something as simple as that, or as a library,
Yeah.
it just
We
to
have activities
emphasize
for
what
our
you're saying.
kids. Like we
Yeah.
have good things for like young families to do. And then yeah, if like we wanted to, we could walk to the grocery store and get like a gallon of milk or when we have a snowstorm. We're not out of luck when like we run out of milk and we need milk for our kids. So that was one thing my dad always told me. He's like, you have to live in a town where you can at least get a gallon of milk.
You sure do. So with all this activity, how, I mean, you have time to be together as a family. Is that a challenge? How do you engage that challenge? Do you be able to go to mass together? What's that look like?
Yeah, generally we do try to go to mass together. Generally Sundays are a lot slower. We try to kind of hang out together as a family that day, whether that be when the weather gets nice, do something active, go golfing, go to the park, whatever that may be. But yeah, it is a challenge during the week when, like I was telling Tessa just this week alone, Monday through Thursday, then I think I was only home with the kids for like an hour between all those nights. So it is tough, but you just have to make a day like Sunday to, we're not going to try to do a whole lot, just try to make it kind of a family day. Go to church Saturday night or Sunday morning.
Not right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think it's really helpful. Tyler's family had really good values, and I feel like they do a really good job at like leaving Sunday alone. And then also Tyler's boss, I feel like is just also a really good role model, and like good role model in terms of like encouraging Tyler like church wise, like getting involved and stuff there. But also he's really good about like Sundays or Sunday, unless it's just like crunch time, they have a lot to do. So like the fact that the two people he works with the most also value Sundays, like as family time, I think that's a big deal.
Well, that is great. So it's not just you passing on this way of life, Catholic way of life. It's you and the people around you and community doing it, and supporting each other in that. You don't feel guilty for not working a lot on Sunday. It's actually encouraged.
Hmm.
That is just awesome. I mean, I'm just kind of soaking that in right now, that a professional relationship has served you personally. Like somebody you work with who's actually your boss has enriched you.
Like, what was it? He signed you up for like the adoration time when you guys were doing the 40
40
something hours. Yeah.
Yep.
And like Tyler comes home, he's like, I gotta be at church at 6 a.m. on Friday. And I'm like, what? And he's like, Jeff signed me. I was like, that's awesome. I love that.
I was so happy. Peter and Jeff and Laura Swift and then Jeff and Sandra, they helped organize the 40 hours at Holy Family in Emmitsburg.
That's really cool. I love that.
I know. And I was gone for my mom's birthday. And I said, well, you guys, I can't help you, but just you guys can do it. I mean, they did it. And so thank you, Tyler, for covering that hour. If Jeff doesn't pay you for that, then the Lord will take care of you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that Bible study on Sundays. I came to one of those with you where it was you two and then like three other couples, and then all the little kids were running around, which is so much fun. And then when the little child like turned off the TV when we were watching that little video about kids being distracting during mass, I just busted a gut laughing because I'm like, this is a perfect example. We just turn it back on and keep going. So how has that been for you guys? What's that like?
Love it. I'm really thankful we have that because that's like almost like our own little community, I guess, of like just parents like going through the same like struggles and phases that we are, or same joys even, like because we're all just like in the age of having kids and stuff. So it's like awesome to like lean on each other for advice or see how like they talk to their kids about certain topics and just even talk to each other like, okay, how's your sleep been this week?
Nice. Yeah. Well, we're getting close to the end because Tyler has to go to Esterville for firefighter training this morning. And so we got about 35 minutes for you to get there, and it's a 15-minute, maybe 17-minute drive. So how about we end today and maybe pick it up another day? You guys, this has been just wonderful and delightful. Thank you for helping with Catholic Passage. You're definitely an example of what we're trying to highlight, of having lay men and women support one another by their encouragement and example. And when we all share just a little bit of what we have with one another, we all grow. And that's what the Lord intends, is to work through all of us. And so thank you for doing it, especially here in the Soil and Soul podcast. We're trying to support those in agriculture and those interested during the planting and harvest season. So have a great day, and God bless you guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, Father.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Soil and Soul, and we hope that it blesses you. Please stay tuned during the week for the other daily shows that we offer as part of this special ministry project we're providing during the peak seasons of planting and harvest. Also, if you'd like to find out more about Catholic Passage, how you might collaborate with us, or even support our mission, please visit us at CatholicPassage.com. Most importantly, you can support us with your prayers. We'll be praying for you. Please pray for us.